bunch of these. I like this because it's large. It's got some really good gray values on it. And I'm going to show you how I print it out too, because when I'm going to grid up. So get your ruler, get your Sharpie pen. I don't have a 24-inch ruler because mine was lost in a class and I'm really sad about it. But anyways, I'm going to use this. So I'm going to measure this. And I tried to make it, these were pulled off the internet, so they were odd sizes, and I tried to make them as close to 8 by 10 as I possibly can. So as you can see right here, little James Dean is a little bit, it's not quite 8 inches. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to add on from this edge. Okay, so see what I'm doing? I'm using that. I don't need all this space. I want to, well, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do this. Never mind. I'm going to do that. This is going to be the edge, and then I'll just crop it off here. So I have 8 inches, and then I'm going to go down here. 8 inches, because not everything that I mean, my own photos that I take, I can size those to the exact size. These were pulled off, like I said, from, I think I got a lot of these from Pinterest, and they are cropped. They're just different, so you have to kind of make do. So that will be the edge of the drawing. So I'm just going to make that line, and it's no big deal. We're just going to, we'll fill that in with the background. It's just so that you have 8 inches and we can make a nice grid. So going across here, let me see what this says. I know this is probably, see now, again, this is, it's larger. So I'm going to use the top of his head there. Okay, so that, and I'm going to crop it here. Okay, we're just going to crop it and be like that, which is no big deal. It's not going to take anything away from the drawing. Actually, this is a really good exercise because, like I said, not everything you do is always going to be 8 by 10 to start with. So you'd have to learn how to crop it. So I'm going to just draw my line here. And now I have an 8 by 10. So I have 8 inches across this way, and I have 10 inches down this way. So now that I have that, I'm going to go along the edges here. And I'm going to try to get this so you can see it better. And there you go. I don't want to get my head in the way. So I'm going to make a line. I'm going to start right here at the very edge. Make a tick mark every inch. Okay. 7, 8, 9, and then I ended up here. Again, over here, the top, let's flip this around. Put the 10 right there. This is the edge here. I know there's not much room there, but I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. So that's right on the edge. Is it? Yes, it's right there. Okay. So here's the edge. Tick mark 1, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then I have the edge there. So now I'm going to go across. I'm going to just connect those little tick marks here. Okay. Just kind of be careful that you match them up pretty closely because you don't want to make it, always make sure if that doesn't look like an inch, always go back and double check it. So I'm just going to make that clear, a little bit more clear for me to see. Okay. This will be a good one to do. I'll do this along with everybody. But again, you can pick whatever celebrity or whatever I sent you. I think I sent a rose, and I have a dog, and I have some other really interesting faces. And I know you guys can do this. Okay. This is the prep work. It does take a little time, but It makes all the difference in the world. It's just like anything, you have to always prep anything that you're going to work on. Kind of think of it as like painting. When you paint a room, you have to prep the walls to make sure they're perfect, because you don't want to spend all your time painting it, and then if the walls aren't level or there's holes in it or whatever, it's the same thing. We're prepping to get our work perfect. So I'm just going across like this. Again, let's make that. And then here's my edge. This is my end, so it ends right there. Now, we're going to go across the top. So I start here at the edge, and I have 8 inches. It ends there. So we're going to make tick marks here, 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 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring it down here. Forget about that edge. I'm going to bring it down here, and it's kind of hard to see. Move that up. Tick mark 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now let's connect these here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you have good lighting, you could see that. And I'm going to show you what I do in cases like this to make it a lot easier to work in, because we still have to number that and then mark it off. Anyways, this is a good lesson to start with. Plus, it's not like we're going anywhere. All right, so I have my grid down. So I'm going to show you what I do next, because this is just a lot easier for me. I'm going to find my scissors. I'll be right back. Of course, I can't find them. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out, and I'll show you what. I'm just going to cut this. I already have my grid on it, so don't freak out. I just find this a little bit easier because the margins here are very small, and it's going to be very hard to read when you have to put in your numbers and letters to correspond. So I'm just going to cut it out like so. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end for the amount of time that we do this. So now I'm going to cut it. So now there won't be, plus it won't be confusing, because I know when you first start this, when you're doing the grid, it's a lot to get used to. Okay, so now here's my 8 by 10. So what I'm going to do is get a scrap piece of paper. Okay, I have, let's see, this is just, that's just a regular copy piece of paper that I use. And I'm just going to tape it. I'll show you what I do. There's a method for my madness here. Just stick some tape on the back. And I will show you another way. I think I talked about I don't know if it was in this class or the other one, to make a grid with the acetate. But I wanted to show you this first. This is important. Okay, so, all right. So this is 8.5 by 11, and this is only 8 by 12, 8 by 10. So I'm just going to stick it down here. It's kind of ripped in the corner, no big deal. All right, there we go. So now we have a little bit of an edge around there. Put a little bit of tape in him. Okay, again, this is just to get this point here is just so that we get something to put on our paper. So now what I'm going to do is, let me put this down a little bit more. There. I'm going to number these and I'm going to letter them. So what I usually do, I'll put letters across the top. So I'll put A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And then I want to make sure whatever I do on the top, so you could do numbers across the top if you want, but whatever you do on the top has to match on the bottom. So I'm going to put A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now on the sides, I'm going to use numbers. So I have a little space here. So, I mean, you could even kind of write it in here, but I'm going to just do it on the side here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, the good thing about this is that we all know that these are all inches. So this tells you it's 10 inches. So if you have to go down, it's 3 inches across to make the eye and the different ratio. So that's for your reference. And then I have we use this first, and then we want to print out another one. So you have 2. And you don't really have to grid this up. Just leave it, because when you get everything in place here, you're going to go in and start looking at all the different values and the different shapes. This is just to get everything proportionate. So the next step is